Hello everyone. Today I want to look at how we receive healing for our broken hearts. Now our hearts are our deep center or our spirit. It's that part of us that chooses. So another word for it is our will. And so in order for healing to happen in our broken spirits or broken hearts, we have to realize that it's a change on the inside and we have to act. There is something we can do to receive this healing. Okay, so the source of our brokenness is a will that's turned in on itself, or self-will, selfishness. And here's a quote from Dallas Willard. He said, "The will of individuals and groups to get what they want, regardless of what it does to others and themselves, breaks people. It continually destroys life. Because of this, we live in a world of disappointment and hurt, insufficiency and injury. That's mental, emotional, physical, and social, with scarred and dysfunctional, pain-filled souls and bodies." This is a description of the broken world in which we live. When we live in this world, our lives are characterized by thoughts and feelings of deficiency, a belief I won't quite do, desertion, no one cares, I am alone, dread, we dread sickness, we dread financial failure, we dread growing old, and the fourth D is death. There is a dread of death. The results of deprivation is we see ourselves forced to take charge of our world in whatever way we can, which results in further injuries and disappointments to ourselves and others. Do you remember Satan said this to Eve? You have to take charge. You are being deprived of the knowledge of good and evil. You have to act. The results of desertion and dread are that we become incapable of doing the good we intend. We desperately want to do good, but we are prepared to do what is not good. The scriptures in Galatians 5, verse 17, and Romans 7 describe this tussle within our spirits. And it all comes from self-will, the belief that I must have my own way. That is actually putting myself in place of God. So we're looking at understanding this, not to make anyone feel guilty or bad about themselves, but we do have to understand the effect of selfishness, which is breaking the wills and the centers in all of us. So your will is actually a good thing. It's that creative aspect of yourself, the capacity to bring things about. And a change comes when we set our will with what God intends, and also what we set our minds upon. So we need to get beyond our brokenness to receive the promises of God. In order to receive the promises, we have to fill our mind on the promises of God and set our minds on His goodness. So Jesus gives us so many assurances in Scripture, which is a reversal of those 4 Ds that I mentioned. Firstly, we'll never experience desertion. We are sufficient in God. There is nothing to dread. And those who know Him and obey His word will never experience death. In the passage 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 to 8, and it's a very famous passage, it's on love. But do you want that kind of love? Because it comes from a person. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Now, God is love, and so we need to receive His kind of love into our hearts, which will heal them. So, a profession of faith in Jesus doesn't bring this about. It has to be deeper. Healing comes from discipleship to Jesus and accepting to be taught by Him. So to be a disciple means I'm learning from you in order to be like you, and therefore I have to be with you. Another good word for this is apprentice. I'm going to apprentice myself to Jesus and have that confidence in you because I believe you are right and I want to be in on it. So God is always trying to find people with their broken hearts. But we have to do 3 responses, and I've labeled them all with an S. The first response is to surrender to His will. The second response is to receive the stability that His love brings into our life. And thirdly, it is sharing and participating in what He is doing in this world. But the first step, surrender, is probably a continual struggle with us. And I'm going to give one example where we can do this, and that's in the area of guile and malice. So we have to decide never to mislead people and never to do or say things that cause harm or pain to anyone. In that way, we're surrendering our will to God's will, and we intend to will what God wills instead. The fruit of this will be peace and love and joy in our own lives and a healing of our broken hearts. So may God bless you in this. And as you practice aligning your will and your mind with God, I pray He will bless you and strengthen you.